My name is Kendra Whitaker, and at 38 years old, I thought I'd mastered juggling my job as an environmental lawyer in suburban Denver with raising my whip-smart 17-year-old daughter alone. That sweltering summer afternoon in 2025, knee-deep in a Rocky Mountain mining case deposition, my phone lit up with a call that stopped my heart. It was her voice, breaking words, choking through tears. Mom at the family barbecue. Grandma shoved me into the bathroom and screamed, "Bastard child." Aunt Candace laughed like it was some sick joke. I pounded on the door, but no one came. The highway blurted as I floored it toward the foothills, rage burning hotter than the July sun scorching the Rockies. How dare they, after years of their fake family reconnects? Now that I'd clawed my way to partner at the firm, do they do this? My daughter, brilliant kind, the girl who memorized Colorado water rights laws as bedtime stories, humiliated like that at their precious backyard grill out, I gripped the wheel, mind racing. This wasn't just another slight. This was war. My daughter's sobs echoed in my head, her pleas trapped behind that bathroom door while their laughter rang outside. I'd spent years swallowing their insults, but no more. They'd crossed a line, and I was done playing nice. I reached for my phone, ready to unleash hell, my next move already forming a plan to make them regret every word. In my mind, the scene burned: her in the sundress I'd bought for the occasion, cornered Grandma's venom, spitting that ugly word ringing off the tiles, her fists hammering for escape. I screeched into the driveway, heart pounding, and burst through the door to find her curled on the couch, eyes raw, but fierce. This was our breaking point. They'd pay for this. Before I tell you how I made them face the consequences, tell me in the comments where you're watching from and hit subscribe if you've ever had to stand up to a toxic family. We're in this together. As I pulled her into my arms on that worn living room sofa, her summer dress all rumbled and her hands trembling like leaves in a mountain wind, I knew the dam had broken. Marissa buried her face in my shoulder, her voice muffled but steady as she started spilling it all the details of that godforsaken barbecue up in the foothills where the air smelled of charred burgers and pine smoke from the Rockies. She'd arrived early, pie in hand, her special apple one baked from scratch with those wild apples we'd picked last fall. Gifts wrapped neatly for everyone, even little Preston. Parked her car by the gravel driveway, walked up to the backyard, spread out against those jagged peaks, the grill smoke curling like a bad omen. Mom barely looked up from flipping steaks, muttering a distracted, "Hey kid," before turning back to the flames. Dad took the bag of presents with a grunt, "Thanks," then wandered off to fiddle with the cooler, not a hug or a "how are you" in sight. Aunt Candace Ford, all decked out in her designer shorts, gave a quick wave from the picnic table where she sat with Uncle Blaine Hayes and Preston, the 6-year-old golden boy, already tearing into a new remote-control truck they'd just handed him. The table was set for 5: Grandma, Grandpa, Candace, Blaine, Preston, with an empty spot that was supposed to be mine. When Marissa asked where to sit, Grandma touched over like she'd forgotten she existed. "Oh honey, the table's full. Grab that folding chair out back by the shed. It's fine." So there she was, plate balanced on her lap in the shade of an old pine, picking at coleslaw while the family chattered and laughed just yards away, forks clinking on plates, Preston's truck frooming across the grass. She could hear them stories about Preston's kindergarten art show, plans for his soccer camp, Grandma cooing over how our little man was growing so fast. Marissa's news about her scholarship offers, not a word. She'd brought it up once shyly and Dad just nodded. "That's nice," before launching into Preston's latest milestone. The knot in her stomach tightened as the meal dragged on, the sun dipping behind the peaks, casting long shadows. Then Grandma wiped her hands on her apron, fixed Marissa with that sharp look, and said, "Come here, girl, let's talk about those college things you mentioned." Pulled her toward the guest cabin at the edge of the yard, the one with the tiny bathroom for quick chats. Inside the door, click shut, the air thick with lavender, soap, and regret. Grandma's hand clamped on her arm, not hard, but firm, guiding her against the sink. "You think you're so smart with your scholarships, huh? But you're an unwanted child. You ruined us all back then." The words flew out, venom-laced with years of buried resentment, her face inches away, breath hot. Marissa froze, heart slamming. "Grandma, what?" But Grandma shoved just enough to pin her there, the edge of the sink digging into her back. "Your mother dragged this family through hell, and now you parade around like you belong. Get out of my sight." From the doorway, Candace's laugh sliced through, high and mocking. "Drama queen much? Oh, this is gold." Her phone was out, camera rolling, capturing the whole ugly mess, for X caption already forming in her smirk. "Family fun gone wrong. Sure, nephew wins. Awkward if." She hit post before Marissa could blink. Little Preston poked his head and then, truck in hand, eyes wide but uncaring. Cousin Marissa, why are you yelling? Before she could answer, Candace scooped him up. Nothing, buddy. Let's get ice cream. Marissa's vision blurred with tears. She pounded the door once, twice, fists aching, screaming inside, but silent outside where the grill sizzled on like nothing happened. Fumbling for her phone, she hit record on voice memo, capturing the tail end of Grandma's mutter, unwanted, ruined, evidence, proof. Then she bolted, keys shaking as she fired up the car and peeled out, gravel flying, dialing me the second she hit the highway. I held her tighter as she finished her words, painting the picture clearer than any photo, the isolation, the cruelty, the way they'd erased her right there under the mountain sky. Fury coiled in my chest, a storm building. This wasn't just hurt, it was deliberate. They'd chosen this. You ever been sidelined at a family gathering like you don't even exist? Drop in the comments how that isolation feels. Let's talk it out. I knew right then, time to strike back. 17 years. 17 years of their sideways glances, their nice try, pats on the back for Marissa's straight A's, while Preston got the full parade for finger painting. Enough. It was time to hit back with the one weapon they couldn't dodge, the law. I eased her head off my shoulders, wiped the streaks from her cheeks with my thumb, and grabbed my laptop from the coffee table. The screen glowed harsh in the dim living room, casting shadows that danced like accusations on the walls. We're ending this tonight, I said, my voice steady, even as my pulse thundered. Marissa nodded, eyes wide but nodding with that quiet steel I'd seen growing in her over the years. The same steel that got us through late nights poring over case files when she was just a kid spelling out injunction for fun. Fingers flew across the keyboard, drafting the email to Devon Hale, my law school battle buddy, who'd gone into family law while I chased environmental justice. Subject: urgent file, emotional distress suit against family. Body: Devon. It's Kendra. They crossed every line today at the barbecue, shoved Marissa verbally calling assault her unwanted child. Audio evidence attached from her phone. File the lawsuit for emotional distress immediately, $50,000 minimum damages. Include a restraining order petition if they so much as text. Make it airtight. I want them served by morning. Call me at dawn. I hit send, the whoosh echoing like a gavel. Marissa leaned in, watching the progress bar fill. What if they fight it? She whined. I squeezed her hand. They will. But Colorado courts don't play with harassment, especially not against a minor. This ends their games. My phone buzzed almost instantly. Devon's reply, on it. Reviewing audio now. Papers drafted by 6 a.m. $50K is conservative. We can push higher with the shove detail. Restraining orders a slam dunk, intentional infliction. Sleep if you can. I'll handle the filings. A grim smile tugged at my lips. Good old Devon, always the closer, but I wasn't done. Not by half. I opened X, the app's Bluebird stared back like a co-conspirator. No faces, no specifics that could bite us legally, just the truth, raw and unfiltered. I hit record on a quick video, keeping the camera on my face in the low light, the Rocky's silhouette faint through the window behind me. Family's supposed to be your rock, I began, voice low and edged with ice. But today at a backyard barbecue in the foothills, they shoved my daughter into a bathroom and screamed unwanted child at her face. My sister filmed it, laughing like it was entertaining. 17 years of this poison, and I'm done whispering. If you won't kneel and apologize publicly at the church where you preach forgiveness, the courts will drag it into the light. The world will see what happens when you break a child. Watch this space. 10 seconds. That's all it took. I posted it unlisted at first, then shared the link to our extended family group chat, the aunts, uncles, cousins who'd stayed silent too long. No direct tags. Let it spread organically. Within minutes, notifications pinged, shares from a second cousin in Fort Collins, a like from an old college friend. The algorithm did its dirty work, pushing it to Denver locals tuned into family drama feeds. Then the audio file, Marissa's shaky recording, just grandma's hiss fading into sobs, scrubbed of identifiers but damning in its rawness. I uploaded it anonymously to a throwaway account, linking it in the family thread with a caption, "Hear for yourselves. This is what family sounds like in ours. Time for accountability." The backlash started slowly, then snowballed. A ping from Aunt Lydia, "Kendra, what the hell is this?" Followed by Uncle Ray, "Your mom called me crying, says it's all a misunderstanding." I let them stew, thumb hovering over block. My phone rang, then Mom's number flashing like a warning flare. I let it go to voicemail once, twice, the third time answered on speaker so Marissa could hear. Her voice cracked through thick with that fake tremble she reserved for church testimonials. "Kendra, honey, don't do this. Don't sue us. I was wrong, just stressed from the heat. Please, family sticks together." I leaned back, arm around Marissa, my tone flat as a courtroom ruling. Too late, Mom. You shoved my daughter, called her unwanted. Apologize on your knees at church tomorrow, public, or it's court, or else. Silence stretched, broken only by her gasp. You wouldn't. We're bleeding. Blood doesn't mean license to bully. I hung up. The final click was like a locked gate. Devon's text lit up next, papers filed, remotely served by noon. Restraining order, hearing set for Friday. You're a force, Kendra. Get some rest. This avalanche is rolling. I put the phone down, the weight lifting just a fraction as Marissa exhaled beside me. The Rockies loomed dark outside, star pricking the sky like distant testimony. For the first time in years, I felt the ground shift under us, not COE. By dawn, the filings were locked in. The doorbell's shrill chime jolted me awake. My coffee mug nearly slipped from my grip as I stood in the kitchen, Marissa still dozing on the couch under a throw blanket. I peeked through the blinds. Mom's sedan and Candace's SUV blocked the driveway, their silhouettes stiff in the early Colorado light. They'd come fast, too fast, like vultures circling a fresh wound. I opened the door but stayed planted in the frame, arms crossed, no invite inside. Mom's eyes were red-rimmed mascara, smudged like she'd rehearsed her tears all night. Dad stood rigid beside her, jaw tight, clutching a crumpled printout of my ex-post. Candace Ford hovered behind with Blaine Hayes Preston tugging at his dad's sleeve, oblivious. Kendra, we need to talk. Mom began, voice quivering for effect. This nonsense, drop it. I didn't mean it. Didn't mean to shove my daughter into a bathroom and scream, unwanted child. I cut in sharp as a deposition knife, or didn't mean for the whole family to hear it on X. Her mouth opened, then shut. No answer ready. Dad stepped forward, waving the printout like a weapon. Overreaction. Kendra, you're blowing this out of proportion, dragging our name through the mud. Drop the suit, or you're cut off. No inheritance, no nothing. I laughed, cold and bitter, the sound echoing off the porch. Inheritance, Dad, I built this life without a dime from you. You don't get to play that card. Marissa stirred behind me, padding to my side in her wrinkled sundress, her face pale but eyes blazing. She didn't flinch as Candace leaned in, voice dripping with fake concern. Marissa, honey, my video was just a joke. You're too sensitive, faking tears for attention. Tell your mom to stop this madness. Marissa straightened, her voice low but steel. Aunt Candace, you laughed while Grandma pinned me against that sink. You posted it for likes. I'm done begging for your scraps of love. I'm worth more than that. My chest swelled, pride mixed with the ache. My girl standing tall against their poison. Mom clutched her purse, tears spilling now. Kendra, please. What will the church think? We're your family, don't do this. I shook my head, resolved, hardening like granite. Family doesn't bully a kid and call it a misunderstanding. You had 17 years to act like it. We're leaving Denver, done with your favoritism for Preston. Marissa's hand found mine, squeezing tight. She nodded, saying she was all in. I pulled out my phone, opened X again, and hit record. No faces, just my voice, steady and unyielding, the Rockies framing the shot through the open door. They came to my house today, begging me to drop the lawsuit after shoving my daughter and mocking her pain on X. I'm giving one last chance, kneel and apologize at the Methodist Church this Sunday, public, or we're in court. The world's watching, and I'm not backing down. Posted. Notifications buzzed instantly, cousins sharing, a church friend DMing, shocked. The scandal was spreading wildfire fast through Denver's tight-knit gossip chains. Candace scoffed, tossing her hair. You're insane, Kendra. Dragging Marissa to some new city, you're the one hurting her, not us. Blaine asserted agreement, pulling Preston closer like I was the threat. Think about the kid, he said. Preston loves his cousin. Marissa's eyes are narrowed. When's the last time Preston even spoke to me, Uncle Blaine? You kept him away like I was contagious. I cut through their noise. We're moving to Boulder. I signed a contract yesterday leading a new environmental law firm, better hours for us. House goes on the market this week. You're out of our lives. Mom gasped, hand to her chest, but Dad's face stiffened. You'll regret this, Kendra. You can't erase us. I stepped closer, voice low. Watch me. The realtor's sign went up that afternoon, our split level already drawing eyes from neighbors peeking over fences. Marissa helped me sort photos for the listing. She smiled, faint but real. By evening, X was alive with chatter, hundreds of views, family threads blowing up, a distant aunt texting. Did your mom really do that? The church's social page had questions piling in, their perfect image cracking. How do you shut down fake apologies from a toxic family? Drop your story in the comments. How'd you stand your ground for your kid? By nightfall, we were packing boxes. The exodus was coming. With the house sold, we boarded the plane. The Denver airport hummed with August travelers, but our corner was a bubble of focus boxes shipped ahead, Marissa's backpack crammed with essentials for the jump. The realtor had worked lightning fast, closing our split-level sale in 7 days to couple eyeing the mountain backdrop. We'd torn through our old life in a whirlwind, Marissa sorting her things with a quiet grit. The bracelets she'd woven for Preston, the rock she'd painted with his name dumped in a donation bin by the curb. "They don't deserve them," she said, tossing the last one without a glance back, her eyes clear of tears. The flight to Boulder was a quick hop, the plane skimming over the Rockies' golden ridges, sun blazing through the clouds. Our new apartment perched high in a sleek tower, the mountain's jagged edges framed like a vow through wide windows. Marissa pressed her nose to the glass, her silhouette sharp against the stone peaks. "This feels right," she murmured. I wrapped my arms around her, relief flooding through me like a river breaking free. We'd escaped. Marissa hit the ground running at her new school, mid-semester chaos no match for her. Within days she'd signed up for the debate team and environmental club, her counselor beaming over her transcript, perfect grades, scholarship offer stacking up for the University of Colorado. "She's a star," the counselor said, slipping me a flyer for their eco rally. Marissa was already drafting her speech on watershed protections, riffing off the legal briefs we'd poured over back in Denver. My first case at the Boulder firm landed like a gavel, a wind blocking a developer's runoff scheme, saving a local creek. The partners slapped my back, tossing out a raise before the judge's ruling was called. "You're our cornerstone," one said, and I felt my feet plant firm, no longer wobbling under family shadows. Liana Sparks, a single mom and corporate lawyer I'd clicked with at a Boulder women's law meetup, threw a barbecue that first weekend. Her backyard glowed with string lights, tables crowded with mismatched plates, friends swapping stories over sizzling corn and local brews. Marissa traded trail tips with Liana's son, her laughter light as the evening breeze. I sipped a pale ale, sinking into the warmth of people who saw us for us, no baggage, no grudges. This was the family we chose. The restraining order Devin filed held like steel. His text pinged as we landed, served at 8 a.m. No contact allowed, Colorado laws ironclad. But by week 3, they tested it. Dad's number flashed with a message. "Heart's giving me trouble, Kendra. Your lawsuit's killing me." I forwarded it to Devin, deleted it without a reply. Candace tried next, her text dripping spite. "You're tearing us apart with your drama." Marissa's playing victim for sympathy. Block forward, done. Devin's case file grew thicker. One night, Marissa caught me glaring at my phone, her gaze soft but steady. "Mom, they'll never get it, will they? We're free now." I pulled her into a hug, her words a lifeline. "We are kid. We're building something they can't touch." She nodded, flipping through a Boulder hiking guide, circling trails for our next adventure. The apartment smelled of fresh coffee and new beginnings, the Rockies standing sentinel outside. Devin called that evening, voice crisp with progress. Orders enforced, no violations yet. Lawsuits gaining traction. Their lawyers scrambling to settle. That audio's a dagger, 50,000's lowballing it. Courts on our side. I pictured Mom's face when the summons hit her, church lady mask splintering under scrutiny. Denver was unraveling behind us. A cousin messaged church groups in an uproar, "Your mom's off the board." That audio's everywhere. A neighbor chimed in. "Candace lost a huge client. Nobody wants her drama tainting their brand." Their perfect image was fraying, the scandal rippling through Denver's gossip mill like a stone in a still pond. Marissa and I shared a pizza on our balcony, the Rockies glowing under a pink sunset. "We earned this," I said, clinking my soda against hers. Her smile was bright, unburdened by that bathroom door. We were home. The fallout in Denver was spreading, they'd pay dearly. The ripples from Denver hit hard. Within weeks of landing in Boulder, the audio Marissa recorded, that raw snippet of Mom's venomous, unwanted child hiss, blew up beyond our family chat. It spread like dry grass catching fire, shared across X by cousins, church friends, even strangers in Denver's tight gossip web. The Methodist Church's social page lit up with questions, members tagging Mom and Dad, demanding answers. By month's end, the board voted them out of leadership roles, deacons no more, their Sunday smiles erased from the bulletin. A cousin DM'd me, "Kendra, they're humiliated. Church potlucks are a ghost town for them now." I didn't reply, but the weight of their downfall settled like dust after a storm. Candace's business took a harder hit. Her boutique PR firm, built on Denver's elite, lost a contract worth hundreds of thousands of dollars when a client, some real estate mogul, bailed after seeing her ex-post mocking Marissa. "No one trusts her judgment," now a mutual friend texted. Blaine was livid, his text to Candace leaking through family grapevines. "Your stunt cost us everything." Their marriage, already shaky, cracked wider under the strain. Relatives stopped inviting them to gatherings, their names whispered like a cautionary tale at Denver barbecues. Back in Boulder, Marissa got the call she'd been waiting for, a full-ride scholarship to the University of Colorado, her essays on environmental justice sealing the deal. We celebrated at Liana Sparks' house, her backyard packed with new friends, single moms, law colleagues, kids swapping stories over s'mores. Marissa led a toast, her glass of sparkling cider raised high. To new beginnings, she said, her voice clear, no trace of the girl who'd fled that bathroom. I clinked my drink against hers, pride swelling like the Rockies at dusk. My firm was thriving too. I led a string of wins cases, shutting down polluters, saving alpine streams from corporate greed. The partners called me to their glass-walled office one morning, handing me a plaque for outstanding leadership. "You're unstoppable," Kendra once said, and I felt it, unshackled, no longer tethered to family expectations. The Boulder air, crisp with pine, tasted like victory. Tasha Ruiz, our therapist, helped us carve out that freedom. Her office, tucked in a quiet corner of town, became our sanctuary. "Anger's valid," she said during one session, her voice calm but firm. "But you're rewriting your story. Setting boundaries is power." Marissa nodded, sharing how she channeled her pain into a debate speech that won regionals. I opened up about the guilt that crept in late at night. Had I pushed too hard? Tasha shook her head. "You protected her. In Colorado, that restraining order's your shield, use it." She taught us legal strategies too, like documenting violations for court, empowering us as single moms to stand firm. The order held strong. Devon's updates came weekly, no contact attempts since the texts. Their lawyers begging to settle the lawsuit, $50,000's a done deal if you want it. I told him to push harder. The audio was ironclad and their panic was our leverage. Family tried sneaking through. A package arrived, mom's handwriting on a box of Marissa's favorite oatmeal cookies. I sent it back unopened, a note taped on, "Respect the order." Marissa watched, her expression steady. "They don't get to buy us back," she said, and I hugged her, marveling at her strength. Denver's fallout kept growing. A neighbor messaged, "Your parents' church circles shunning them. Nobody wants the drama." Another cousin confirmed, "Candace's firm is bleeding clients." Blaine's talking divorce. The scandal clung to them like smoke, their social standing crumbling in Denver's judgmental suburbs. Relatives started reaching out to us instead, texts from an aunt in Greeley, a call from Uncle Ray offering support. "You did right, Kendra," he said. They crossed a line. Our life in Boulder bloomed. Liana's barbecues became our ritual tables, groaning with potluck dishes, tamales, cornbread, vegan brownies, friends laughing under string lights, a far cry from that toxic Denver grill out. Marissa thrived organizing eco-rallies, her voice ringing out on campus. I closed cases that made headlines, protecting Colorado's wild spaces. We were building something unbreakable, a family of choice that didn't demand our silence. One evening, Marissa and I hiked a trail overlooking Boulder, the mountains glowing under a crescent moon. "We're enough," she said, her breath visible in the chilly air. I squeezed her shoulder, the truth settling deep. We'd left their poison behind. 3 years later, our victory was absolute, no forgiveness. 3 years on Boulder was our fortress. By 2028, Marissa was a junior at the University of Colorado, tearing through pre-med with a bioethics minor, her weekend spent back at our apartment, sprawled on the couch, debating medical ethics over takeout. Her confidence lit up every room, a far cry from the girl who'd once pounded a bathroom door for escape. I'd catch her on campus leading eco-rallies or acing debates, her voice carrying the weight of someone who'd learned her worth the hard way. "Mom, I'm aiming for med school," she'd say, eyes bright, and I'd nod, knowing she'd outshine us all. My firm had become a regional powerhouse, shutting down polluters from Wyoming to New Mexico. Last spring, the partners handed me a leadership award, my name etched in silver above the fireplace in our office. "Kendra, you've redefined environmental law," one said, and I stood taller, no longer shrinking to fit anyone's mold. Our apartment's view of the Rockies' snow-dusted peaks, sharp against the sky, felt like a trophy of our own making. Our chosen family grew louder, messier, better. Liana's backyard barbecues now drew 15 people, plates piled with tamales, grilled trout, and vegan cupcakes, voices blending in a chorus of laughter under twinkling lights. Marissa swapped hiking stories with Liana's son, while I traded case notes with single moms who'd become sisters. This was home tables where everyone had a seat, no one left in the shadows. Back in Denver, the family's world had collapsed. Mom and Dad, once pillars of their Methodist church, were ghosts in their own community, shunned after the audio scandal. They sold their suburban split level last year, downsizing to a cramped rental on the edge of town, their social circle reduced to whispers and pity. A cousin texted me, "They don't show up to reunions anymore, too ashamed." I didn't reply, but the truth landed like a quiet verdict. Candace's fall was steeper, her PR firm gutted by lost clients folded entirely after that real estate mogul spread word of her ex-post mockery. Hundreds of thousands of dollars vanished, her savings drained to nothing. Blaine walked out 6 months ago filing for divorce when the financial stress snapped their already brittle bond. She's a pariah now, an aunt messaged no one hires her. Their perfect image, Preston's private school. Candace's designer life was dust. Their choices carving their own ruin. They tried crawling back. A package arrived last Christmas, Mom's scrawl on a box of Marissa's favorite oatmeal cookies, a card begging for a call. I taped it shut, scribbling, "Respect the boundaries," before sending it back. Marissa watched unflinching. "They don't get to rewrite this," she said, her voice steady as the mountains outside. The restraining order held firm, Devon's updates crisp. No violations. Lawsuit settled at $50,000. They're broke. I nodded, the final gavel dropping in my mind. Tasha's therapy sessions grounded us through it. "You've built something stronger," she said last month, her office warm with cedar and lamplight. "You're whole now, not their scraps." Marissa shared how she'd turned pain into purpose, her pre-med path a tribute to resilience. I confessed the flicker of guilt. Had I burned too many bridges? Tasha's smile was firm. "You saved your daughter. That's victory." One night, Marissa and I stood on our balcony, the Rockies shimmering under starlight. "We're whole," I said, my hand on her shoulder. She leaned into me, her breath steady. "We always were, Mom." The truth sank deep, a root in solid ground. In America, toxic families pay a price, reputation, money, bonds all gone. Women, listen, you're worth more than their poison. Use the law, like we did, lawsuits, restraining orders, to shield your kids and claim your life. Choose love that lifts you, not chains that bind. How'd you triumph over a toxic family? Drop your story in the comments, share it to inspire single moms fighting for their kids. Our Boulder table's set for 15 now, bursting with laughter, every seat filled. You deserve that table too.